Welcome back. You're watching Storyboard. We continue our conversation with Leonardo Donadas, CEO OMD Worldwide. After speaking to him about how he looks at the various challenges faced by agencies today, we talked to him about the biggest worry for any agency: retaining profit margin. Chasing revenue which is unprofitable doesn't make sense to your business, says Leonardo Donadas, CEO OMD Worldwide. Let's hear the full conversation.
Marketer is swamped with data, analytics, analysis of his own performance. And that's a nightmare. I mean, he can't be spending half a day looking at data. Because again, if you go back to 1995, you made a presentation to him once a quarter, that was enough. So how do you deal with that?
I think there are two ways. I'll give you an example, and we've all been learning how to use data. 3-4 years ago, when we were starting to build DMPs, we had this concept that all the client data, first party, third party data coming from our side, everything had to be on the data platform.
Right.
That would have been the holy grail, but it's just impossible because you never get to that point where you have everything and access to everything.
Right.
3-4 years later, I think we've become much more pragmatic. We're developing agile data platforms, right, where we integrate the data that we need. It doesn't matter if it comes from the clients, from the vendors, third party, ours, but it's the data that we need in order to provide certain responses. So it's easy, it's agile, it's quick. It really helps us to distill what is important, to take certain decisions in real time and help our clients.
Right. Leonardo, you're running a very large business, and one of your responsibilities, one of the most important as well, is margins. So talk me through what's happening to margins in your business, not just in the larger business, not just OMD. What is happening to margins?
Thank you for the question, because it's a very smart one. Chasing revenue, which could be unprofitable, it doesn't make big and successful agencies. Of course, we need size in order to invest in our business, but it needs to be profitable, because otherwise it's not a business and is not going to grow in the future. Margin is fundamental, and I think that our clients are beginning to understand it in the way that they want to remunerate us. It started a few years ago with incentives, then it continues asking agencies to have more skin in the game. I think that now most clients understand that the only wrong way to pay an agency are commissions and FTEs plan, where effectively they buy hours of our people. Most sophisticated clients understand that we are in the business of helping them to launch and relaunch their brands profitably. Therefore, if we are in that business which is measurable, we should have a share of that success. Their success become our success. And I think that pay for performance will be the way forward in terms of remunerating agencies. Certainly, I would like to see that with OMD. So do we have an opportunity to deliver exceptional results, right, but then on the back of that have higher than normal profitability on the business and higher margins?
And some risk?
I think it's normal. It's part of it.
Right.
It's especially in a test and learn approach, where we have to convince our clients to test, learn, and scale those learnings. We've got to do the same from our side, which implies having skin in the game and taking certain elements of risk.
Right. Years ago when the independent media agency came, life was fine. You dealt directly with clients. Then for some years, say between 2003 and 2008, you had procurement being more and more prevalent, and procurement in many ways delayed the business from succeeding. Now, with your model, it's a nightmare with the procurement. I mean, when you say profit percentage and skin in the game and so on.
But procurement has also changed a lot, right, over the years. 10 years ago, the real focus was price.
Right.
I think that now we're talking about value more than price. And it's very natural that procurement will always measure the price of something.
Right.
It's the something which is changing.
Right.
And as long as we're moving away from discounts and CPMs, and we're talking about value and performance, and what is really being delivered to the brands, short-term and long-term, and we can really analyze business KPIs which are relevant to the client, we're all in favor of being measured and having procurement helping us to determine what is the value of our contribution.
Right.
Because our remuneration will be based on that, our success will be based on that. So we welcome it, and like we have evolved from measuring more marketing-based KPIs to business KPIs, in the same way they've been growing from measuring cost to really understanding and measuring value.
Right. Okay. Finally, over the last 5 years, you've seen media agencies taking more and more interest in winning creative awards. For example, OMD has got a large presence at Cannes, in almost all the big awards. So is it worth the game? It's very expensive to take part in these awards. From your perspective, is it worth taking part in these awards, and what is the upside of winning awards?
I can be very specific about OMD because awards are a core part of our DNA and our history.
Right.
We were created to be the innovative and creative media agency, and I'm going back more than 15 years.
Right.
Probably because of our DNA coming out of very creative Omnicom agencies. You know that we've been ahead of the Gunn Report for the last 10 years, and we won more awards than anybody else for 10 years. For us, winning awards is a proxy for creativity and innovation. We want to be creative. How do you measure creativity? How do you benchmark it? So we've created this proxy, which is winning awards. So we religiously try to do our best in that area. We participate at all the main one. It's a big investment, but it's not just the fee to participate. It's the internal cost of identifying those great ideas, creating the case studies. But then how great it is. We use it for learning. We share them across markets. We train our people. We create a culture. We use it to benchmark the work that we do for our clients. And our clients are as passionate as we are, because they know very well that innovative and creative work is the work that helps their brains go that further. And again, it's the difference between price and or cost and value. So we're very aligned with our clients. And for us, awards, i.e. creativity and innovation, is a business KPI.
Right.
And we measure it like if it was a business KPI.
Right. Okay, finally about India. Tell me your thoughts on what's happening in India. And please don't give me a vanilla answer. I love it. It's fantastic. We're growing and so on. You can give us a little more complex answer.
Well, I can tell you that this specific week is tough. The program of demonetization launched by the government, whenever it was, 2 days ago, 3 days ago?
8 days ago now.
8 days ago now. It's having deeper effects on our business than we thought. Yesterday and the day before in the office, I just kept on hearing people talking to clients about postponing, amending, changing real time their plans.
Right.
I'm sure this is going to result in a decrease in the advertising spend this year. So while I'm very sure that at a political level is a great initiative for the country for very specific reasons, from our point of view in terms of business and perhaps the brains that we help to manage, it's been a very, very tough week.
Right.
In itself. Let's see what happens by the end of the year.
Right.
In terms of our agencies, well, OMD, that is the only one that I'm really allowed to talk about. You know it. We've got a great agency in India. That's not a vanilla answer. I love Jasmine. She's not just a friend, but somebody who challenges us from India.
Right.
India is always one of those countries that they never say yes to us. They say, oh yes, oh, why are we doing that? Couldn't we do it better? And have we thought about that idea? And why don't we do it the other way? It's a constant challenge which makes us better at a global level.
Right.
Then are you asking me, could we be better? Yes. I wish there were more pitches this year that we could have won. I wish we could have done better in certain clients.
More pitches, but having less pitches, isn't that good for everybody in one way?
This year has been too quiet.
Right.
This year has been too quiet, perhaps because we couldn't participate to some of them because of conflict.
Right.
Because we covered too many
areas.
So
is that time to launch another agency in India?
Perhaps, but that's not my responsibility. It's Omnicom Media Group.
Right.
So I leave that to Daryl Sim and his plans for managing the portfolio of our agencies.
Right. Fantastic. Thank you so much for talking to us, and look forward to seeing you back.
Thank you very much. See you next time.
Menado has interesting take on many issues indeed. On the other hand, in India, Omnicom Media Group-owned agency OMD has entered into a strategic partnership with Omnicom-owned DDB Mudra Group to consolidate its media services under the OMD brand. The new entity will be headed by Satyamurthy NP, Executive Director of DDB Mudra Group and President and Head of DDB Mudra Max Media, and it will function as an additional local brand in the OMD network. Moving on from consolidation, we speak about investment. DSP BlackRock Mutual Fund's new campaign has a very interesting take on why one should diversify their portfolio. In this particular TVC, they seem to be targeting women while drawing parallel between women investing in different types of shoes for various occasions and investing in mutual funds. Let's take a look at this TVC.
क्या आप पोर्टफोलियो डाइवर्सिफिकेशन के बारे में सोचते हैं? नहीं ना। आप सारा पैसा एक जगह डाल के भूल जाते होंगे। अच्छा, मान लीजिए आपका डाइवर्सिफाइड पोर्टफोलियो आपका शू कलेक्शन होता, तो आप अपने कैबिनेट में जूतों की सेना तैनात रखते। कभी संडे ब्रंच के लिए प्लेटफॉर्म्स, तो कभी पावर ड्रेसिंग के लिए वो 3 इंच वाले स्टिलेटोस, हॉलीडे के लिए फ्लिप फ्लॉप्स या जयपुरी जूतीज, जो आपकी बेस्ट फ्रेंड की शादी में माइट कैच अ हॉटीज आए। हर मौके के लिए आप अपने ऑप्शंस हमेशा तैयार रखते हैं। जब अपने डाइवर्स शू कलेक्शन के लिए इतना सोच सकती हैं, तो अपने पोर्टफोलियो को डाइवर्सिफाई करके बेनिफिट्स मैक्सिमाइज करने के लिए क्यों नहीं? आपकी जरूरतों के मुताबिक म्यूचुअल फंड्स पे आपको अलग अलग ऑप्शंस जैसे इक्विटी फंड्स, फिक्स्ड इनकम फंड्स और हाइब्रिड फंड्स। डाइवर्सिफाई कीजिए, जांचिए, परखिए और फर्क देखिए। आज ही इन्वेस्टमेंट एडवाइजर से बात कीजिए या dspblackrock.com पर और जानकारी पाइए। फिर शायद आपके कलेक्शन में डिजाइनर शूज भी फीचर करने लगेंगे। आप थोड़ा करोगे, बहुत आगे बढ़ोगे।
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. You can catch all our content on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. Thanks for watching and we'll be back same time next week. See you soon.